Welcome to Home of Politics. Thank you all for tuning in to this channel. I appreciate your support. Continue subscribing, sharing my videos, commenting, liking, and also don't forget to turn on the notification button so that when I upload more videos, you remain updated. Ladies and gentlemen, the issue of the bipartisan talk or the National Dialogue Committee in Kenya right now has just kept us worried because people have been hoping of the best from the boomers of Kenya, but inside the bipartisan talk or dialogue, there have been another hidden agenda of using expensively the tax or the money of the public just because of allowances, accommodation, and other things that these leaders who are involved in boomers of Kenya are using. In a period of 60 days, this talk has costed Kenya a lot of money, 103 million shillings, whereby we see several leaders have been paid differently, and leaders have been paid according to their daily sitting. And we have counted it very carefully, and we have seen there have been 20 sittings, and these talks are not yet over. So in these 20 sittings, leaders like Kimani Ichung'wah and Kalonzo Musyoka have been receiving daily allowance of 50,000 shillings. Leaders who are below Kimani Ichung'wah and Kalonzo Musyoka have been having 40,000 per day. Leaders like Jeremiah Kioni and others, 25,000, followed by a pay of 15,000. Others like security have been receiving 2,500. People of media, 1,000 per day. This is a lot of money, considering that the talk was to be fought so that it can consider lowering the cost of living. Yet the talk itself has been very expensive, and the money that have been used, it is just from the tax that we are paying daily, and we did not expect that it will amount to such a big amount of money. We saw previously, before the talk started, Azimio la Umoja team had proposed that the talk should be held in a 5-star hotel, but the other side of Kenya Kwanza declined it and said it is good to have the talk in the public or an open place where there will be minimal cost, and they decided to settle at the boomers of Kenya, whereby we expected that there will be no cost. And having this figure of 106 million shillings, it is a big figure that is bringing in a lot of issues, because we cannot imagine that talking about the lowering the cost of living and other agendas can amount to this money, but on the other side they could not sit there empty-handed without being paid, but that amount is very big. People have not been having any problem to do with the talks, even bringing in other issues, like people from different groups bringing in other issues to be discussed there. That have not been a problem, but how they have spent this money on that talk, it is something that is worrying Kenyans. And because this money is what people are crying for in order for the life to become smooth on Kenyans, then it means these bipartisan talks was just one way or another to bring in looting of money, some people's interest to be fulfilled, and leave other Kenyans who have been pushing the talk so much to go with pain in their heart. Ladies and gentlemen, we see the other day we saw the head of the technical team from the Azimio la Umoja, Jeremiah Kioni, had just tabled his speech very openly, saying that despite himself being one of the members in that National Dialogue Committee, he is not having any faith and any hope that this talk will lead Kenyans somewhere good, because he feels like there's hypocrisy in this issue of National Dialogue Committee. And he was saying that if he could be the leader of Azimio la Umoja, that is Raila Amolo Odinga, he could have walked out of this talk and refrained not participating in it, because he does not want a situation whereby the public will start blaming this committee of the conmanship that can arise in future, because they have not fulfilled what they were expected. They have spent it, and they have conned Kenyans. They have just blackmailed Kenyans. That is what was the stand of Jeremiah Kioni. Even up to now, he still doesn't have hope with this talk. It is now evident through this expenditure that have been just shown, the more than 100 million shillings in only 1 month, in only 2 months, I think so, yeah, that they have used in these talks. It look like it is a way of conning Kenyans, whereby individual people who are participating in that talks in Bomas of Kenya are benefiting heavily, because if you have been there for 20 sittings, then per day you are going home with around 25,000. Or these leaders like Ichungwa, they are taking 50,000 shillings every day. They are having a talk there. We see this is something that is not good. It's just a bad impression of how our funds are being used, because it cannot be blamed one time, because it is the people who wanted the talk, but inside the talk there is a misusing of funds. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very clear here that according to how things are being shown out, it was not necessarily that the talks or the spending in this bipartisan talk could reach this far-reaching point, because Kenya as a government could have escaped these expensive expenditures in this talk. The first thing, they could have used the parliament at least to handle these issues, because we have those legislatures from the Azimio la Umoja side and legislatures from Kenya Kwanza side. They could have tabled this thing as a debate in parliament and in the Senate, and they could successfully reach the end of it, because it is their work to bring in bills, bring in laws, amending issues, discussing them until it is reached a final decision. And they could not have received all these allowances as compared to what these leaders like Kalonzo Musyoka, Jeremiah Kioni, all these leaders have just received a big amount of money that it is again bringing burden to Kenyans who are paying tax. Now, we don't see the hope of bringing down the cost of living if the same money again that is meant to bring down the cost of living, bring down the cost of food and other things, it is the same money that only one person is going with more than 1 million. For example, if you take that 50,000 multiply by 20 sittings, that one is a lot of money that only one person is escaping with it, just in the name of the talks, my good people. And it is therefore seen that even if this bipartisan talk have been discussing so much the issues that are affecting Kenyans, it cannot by itself reach a conclusion, because in one way or another we are seeing the signs of seeking for referendum, which is another expensive thing that will bring in using of a lot of funds. For instance, we know that whenever a referendum will be tabled out to engage the public in this participation, more than 100 million shillings also will be required, because there is nothing that can run in Kenya without fund, without money. And this is bringing other extra costs in our tax paying. Ladies and gentlemen, it is something that people have not actually felt happy with it, because some of the people are saying that it is the issue of BBI that is being brought right back here, yet President William RUTO refused the BBI. We see other people are saying that this bipartisan talk is a way of conning Kenyans, and there is no party that is fighting for the benefit of Kenyans. And in one way or another, we can agree with Jeremiah Kioni that this meeting is just a way of conning Kenyans, because the Azimio team and the Kenya Kwanza team have just united together to do what they feel they will benefit at the end of it, but nothing is going to come out of these talks, considering that some issues that have been presented to the bipartisan talk committee will still require a referendum and a direct one-on-one public participation in these issues. Ladies and gentlemen, do you still support the issue of bipartisan talk to go on? And how do you see their motives that they are really bringing in the issue of referendum, and it will bring in another issues of extra expenses? Ladies and gentlemen, is this solving the high cost of living in our nation, or another way of looting money that Kenyans are suffering to pay tax? Thank you so much for watching my video. Have a good day.